So,
So it came out of the operating budget, so we've got to address the long-term payment parts of our operating budget. That has to be voted on annually because it has an escape clause. So the legislative body could actually choose to vote no, at which point we wouldn't make the $82,843 payment, $89,318 installment.
Are we voting now?
Yeah, no, they just come and get it.
I don't think we have to have a vote to revisit this, do I, Karen?
No, because you haven't seen this
'Cause
one yet.
Right,
But I
you
mean,
vote
we
on it.
did vote on it as part of the operating budget.
Oh, I see.
Right.
But we
we're gonna
can't
vote-
do that.
We're
So
gonna vote on the operating budget as well.
at the very end,
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I'll read this Article 16. To see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $89,318 to pay a third installment towards the ambulance vehicle and rescue truck acquired by a town meeting vote in March of 2016. The principal amount is $82,843 and the interest is $6,475. This lease agreement contains an escape clause, majority vote required. Recommended by Board of Selectmen 3-0. And now it's our turn. May I have a motion?
I'll motion to vote on that.
Okay, Guy? first,
Second.
Gordon second, all in favor? And Guy, no, okay. 6-1, and the same reasons you didn't vote for it in the operating budget, Guy?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. We have another revisit. May I have a motion to revisit the library warrant? John had some concerns about wording, and we do have the corrected wording.
I see.
That's Gordon and Bob, all in favor? 7-0 to revisit. All right. Is that listed on Article 3, I believe?
Article 3.
Okay.
And that's,
This, what you have in front of you, John, is the corrected PRA wording. Did you have any thoughts on it?
No.
Are we ready to vote?
actually, I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
For Gordon. Gordon, does that $416,000 number reflect the pledges that you're working
Yes.
with? It does.
Hmm?
All right, that
But that
presents
is
an
a
issue.
moving target.
Yes, and it does present an issue to me. Pledges are not money in hand,
True.
so you don't have $416,000.
The town of Oakborough, when they redid their town hall,
Mhm.
did the exact same way.
Right?
They received every single pledge dollar that was pledged.
That's really good. However, that's a guess. As you said, it's a moving target.
True.
Someone could get killed in a snowstorm because they don't have four-wheel drive, for example. The pledge goes away, the family decides they don't want to do it. I really have an issue with this. I don't think we're representing properly the revenues that are available. Thank you.
Do I have any other comments, questions? No? All right. May I have a motion to approve Article 3 in the library?
So move.
May I have a second? Helen, second. All in favor? And 6-0 on that one, Karen, and Guy, for the reason you just, or 6-1.
Yes.
For the reason you just stated, the
Yes.
416.
I like the word.
All right. Budget revisits. Other highways and streets.
Do you have any comments?
Nope. Other than I really hope we can get through all of this. tonight.
Thank you, Chairman's comments.
I was just saying, my only comment was, I hope we can get through all of it tonight. I will say that I did run, I keep a running log of everything when we voted. There will be a couple of things that I'd like to revisit according to my little log here too. Shouldn't take too long, but, all right, let's do highways and streets. Jim?
Okay, the selectmen increased the highway and street, line 20, docks and bridges, by $6,500 to accommodate for the HEB engineering costs for putting the repair out to bid and engineering the repair on that bridge to bring it back up to load bearing capacity.
So that's to put it out to bid, and then there was talk about having
But
a
that's
third party.
right. The other money in the Sodom Road Bridge is in a warrant article, which is going to include the repair and the oversight. We had talked about a third party engineer. That's still up in the air. I don't think we've agreed to having a third party engineer at this juncture. It's a strange animal in that if it were a replacement or when we actually do the replacement on the Sodom Road Bridge, we put it out to bid, we get a bid on the engineering, we get a bid on the construction, we get a bid on the construction management. That's the logical way you do these things. This one, because we've got a road closed down or under a weight restriction, we need to do something for repair, so it's a little harder to put it out for bid when you don't have the engineering done and you don't have the time to go through that process and still get it on the warrant so that you can fund it so you can get it repaired. And we didn't feel as though we could actually wait another year to repair the bridge. We need to get it repaired this year.
Okay, given this, and I did it again, but thank you for that explanation, I need to have a motion to revisit.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, this is for 4313, may I have a second? Gordon? All in favor? All right, and thank you for that explanation. Again, it's to raise it $6,500 for HEB, and that's for the contracting? They're gonna put it
That's to
in?
put out for bid.
To put out to bid,
What's the final figure?
13,000.
Was that-
Even.
Is that 7-0?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. May I have a motion for increasing it?
I'm sorry, we motioned to revisit, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll make a motion that we increase the budget to reflect the $6,500 increase and make the total 13,000.
All right, may I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Bob, all in favor? 7-0 on that one. Thank you, folks. All right. Now, I am going to ask for a motion to revisit cemetery. May I have a motion, please? We have an increase for file cabinet.
I'll make the motion to revisit the cemetery budget.
Okay, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Helen seconds, all in favor? Okay, 7-0 to revisit. Cemetery would like to purchase a file cabinet. I understand this is a fireproof.
Yes. Our current file cabinet is not only too small, but not fireproof, very old, and we feel the need to have that so that we can reorganize and actually protect our records in case, God forbid, we have a fire here at the town office.
Wouldn't it be cheaper to make them electronic?
I don't know that.
It's 59.
I am totally out in the woods when it comes to electronics.
No, I know we voted, is this how many drawers?
4.
4? Because I think we voted to purchase a new file cabinet for the office here, and that was about $600. But this is a special one. I don't know if the one for the town is fireproof and all of that. You priced them out, I'm sure.
This is the price that our chairman came up with.
And where is the file cabinet gonna be?
This one will be in the basement?
Here?
Yes. Currently, it's in a little cubbyhole off Jack's office over here. We feel that the basement would be a safer place for it.
Okay.
And I can't speak authoritatively to this, but I'm sure Susie Weeks can, there's any number of situations where the state will say you need to keep a paper record of something.
Well, now my
They haven't
concern is
got-
it waterproof?
They haven't gotten to the point where they'll accept an electronic
It's
record.
because the lots are deeds,
Yeah.
and there's a new standard.
Okay.
Things do change rapidly in the cemeteries, we found out the hard way.
Till you get there.
That's
And then
true.
it'll change.
No, that doesn't change. Then once you arrive, then nothing changes.
Noisy parties and everything.
All changes cease.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're talking about the original was $19,800,
Yes.
Right.
okay, and we're
Increasing it.
increasing it to
21,300.
21,300.
May I have a motion to?
So move.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, you're not abstaining this time, right, Guy?
No, that's equipment, that's not what
Okay,
I consider the operating budget.
okay,
So,
all right. Solid waste disposal, come on down, Mike. We have a couple of increases here, and Toby and Guy can, or Clay can talk to us about a couple other things
I'll
too.
make a motion to revisit this article.
Thank you. May I have a second to revisit? John, and all in favor? All revisiting. All right, the first thing I noticed was C&D, MSW, and closure monitoring. We have some slight increases. Can we talk about that?
Right. The C&D costs obviously are based on how much we went through, and it was a guess when we first started as to how we were going to end up the year. And we were a little bit short in our guess, and I was gone here for the last 8 or 9 days, and I had the final numbers came in, I put them in, and we've adjusted. I guess the selectmen decided to adjust
We did.
the totals to reflect what we actually spent this year, which was a $2,000 increase for C&D and a $2,000 increase for
MSW.
MSW from what we previously voted on.
And the closure monitoring,
The closure monitoring, there was a individual or a couple individuals were out walking in the vicinity of the landfill and noticed, or what they appeared to be something seepage in the wetland area, and they came and asked the selectmen. I've contacted Stantec, Dave Allen, and so we're going to test that area, and that's the cost of doing the tests in that area.
okay. Any other changes on the budget itself then, Clay? That's it?
Nope. The only other thing you asked about
I
is,
did.
okay,
Can I vote on this first?
absolutely.
All right. May I have a motion for 4324, increasing it to $375,522?
So moved.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? All right. 7-0 on that. All right, and I did ask you to come in the past, you talked to us about avoided costs.
Right. What I did was, it takes me until about this time in the beginning of February to get all the costs in. talk to this one?
Sure.
Okay, while we're looking. Didn't print enough of them. Actually, I did, hold on.
No, that's okay. I can follow along.
I established, when I first came on board here, I tried to get more information out to the public and the residents of our net worth and how we do business at the transfer station, and turn it more into a business operation rather than just, quote people with numbers here and there that are never really accurate. I tried to establish some type of basis, which necessitated establishing our actual revenue stream. And then if we were to ship everything out via the compactor, which would be the only other option, one end of the spectrum to the other, it was the most expensive way to ship stuff out. So when we take stuff out of the compactor, or we have people recycling on a voluntary basis, how do we get rid of that material? How do we either make money, or it cost us a little bit of money, but the difference between what it cost us and what it would have cost us to send out in the compactor is what we call avoided costs. And so there's a value to avoided costs that the public would never see, or the selectmen would never see, or anybody that wasn't actually doing it would never see that amount, because we don't get it in cash revenue, and it doesn't offset the cost of expenses. So I had to figure out some type of method to get that information out to the public. And what I did was I created a matrix, and the matrix starts off on the left-hand side, the major commodities that we have that we can either sell or have to get rid of. MSW being the compactor, the most expensive way to get our material out. C&D, construction debris, aluminum cans, cardboard, scrap metal, mixed paper, steel tin cans, glass, clothes, electronics, and plastics. Those are the major areas. There's others down below, which I'll explain later. But across on the top, then I had to generate, okay, how do we figure out how much money we've avoided paying? You have to establish how much have you moved during the year. So the first column is the tons moved this year. So for MSW, it's 1,047 tons of material we moved out via the compactors. The next column is the cost to remove in the compactor, which I've made, it's a little bit more than what I've actually put down here. I put down $100 a ton just so the math is easier to understand for the basic person. So you take that $100 a ton times the tonnage in the first column, and you would get the dollar amount that it would cost if you ship that out via the compactor, via waste management to the landfill. So that second column, for each one of those quantities, that's how much it would cost to ship it out. Then we have to establish, okay, we either do that, or we get people to voluntarily recycle and come into the building, or put it in the scrap metal pile, or put it in the tire container, or put it in the brush pile, or steel, aluminum cans, mixed cans. So how much of that is taken? That's in the tonnage for each commodity. And how much did it cost us to get rid of it? So if you go down to, like, for construction debris and MSW, the first two blocks, it's a little bit less than for MSW, 98,000 versus 104,000. I'll explain why that number is different in a second when we get to the next column. But for C&D, it's roughly about the same, because what you put in CD is what you actually pay to get rid of. There's a couple dollar areas because we round up from 50 cents versus down, and we have 70 containers, so you can get $40, $50 off, but it's pretty close. Aluminum cans, with 7.5 tons we moved. It would have cost $750 if those aluminum cans all went in the compactor. But because we shipped it out, it didn't cost us anything to ship it out. The next column is, that would be avoided costs, because we don't have to pay to ship that material out. Okay? And you get down to glass, which is a good example. We shipped out 52 tons. that would have cost $5,200 to move out of the compactor. We shipped it out via truck over to Wakefield, and it cost us $30 a ton to get rid of that material. So it cost us $1,554 to get rid of the material, which would have cost $5,200 in the compactor. Therefore, the avoided cost, or what we didn't spend, was $3,646. Now, if you go back up to the next column, is the avoided cost for each one of the commodities. The ones in parentheses in the bottom, electronics and plastic, it actually cost us more money. We are mandated by the state to send out the electronics via a very expensive process. And we bid and we shop around to get the lowest bidder. But we actually end up losing money on the electronics that way. And the same thing with our plastic. If you go back up to aluminum cans, which is one of our biggest money makers, 7.5 tons, cost to remove was $750. We sent it in the compactor. It didn't cost us anything because we sold it. So the avoided cost was $750, which we saved. Plus we made $9,300 on the 7.5 tons that we sent out. So if you get through the avoided cost column, that establishes what our avoided costs are. And then you total it up and you get the number at the bottom of the page, 33,987. The actual revenue we took in was revenue, cash money or payments that were made for either our commodities or for services or for stickers, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to take all the revenue in. If you are confused a little bit on the first two lines with the MSW, the reason we went from 104,700 to get rid of it via the compact, you say, well, how come that isn't the same in the next column? Because you're saying that's our cost to get rid of. There's ways to save money on that too. If Waste Management comes out and only hauls one compactor, it costs us $187. If we haul two compactors, it costs us $225 total. So we save, $70, $80 per each haul for those two containers. So I've always tried to operate so that whenever Waste Management comes out, it's not one container, it's two. So we save that money. So that's the difference. The $5,760 was avoided costs. We've saved it because we're always taking two containers out versus one. The actual revenue in against MSW, because we don't have any, is the sticker money and et cetera, like that, and some of the commercial fees for the commercial guys.
Did you say plastics were mandated by the state to ship those out too?
No,
or is
no,
that
no,
just
plastics,
Okay.
it's just, it's a money
Just
losing
electronics.
operation just
Okay.
because the way plastics are going right now, it costs more money, a lot more money to generate recycled plastic than it does virgin plastic. So it's no one's paying anything. And in the future, this fluctuates up and down. What's important to know here is the bottom two columns. Avoided cost was $33,987, and our actual revenue is $101,690. So our net worth to the town, if you will, for the transfer station is $135,677.
Well done.
So my goal when I first got here was to try to make those two numbers equal to what it costs us on my budget line for labor. We're $1,000 short right now.
On the electronics issue, it actually only costs us about $800 or so.
No, it cost us $5,375 to get rid of it. The avoided cost was a negative $3,875. The reason the electronics column is a little bit higher this year, and that's the same thing if you go up to aluminum cans, we have a $10,000 or a $15,000 swing because if we ship something out in December, okay, you get benefit in that year. And so like aluminum cans, we'll have a full truckload maybe every year and a half.
Okay.
So if we ship something out in December, the next year you're not gonna have any aluminum cans if you wait for a full truckload again.
It's all recycled.
So, you know, so some of those things, like, we normally ship out, between cardboard and mixed paper, we normally ship out 70 to 90 tons a year. For cardboard, we only had 2 shipments this year.
Okay.
Normally, we have 3. The previous year, we had 1 in December, and we had 1 in January of this year. So for 2017, we only had 2. So that the revenue can go up and down. And what I did was, I added to the back of this 2016, so you can see what we made in 2016, 2015. And I have available, if you do want it, I have available 2014 and 2013.
Getting back on the electronics, they pay to put the electronics into the transfer station.
Right,
Where does
that's where we made $3,020
Okay,
on the
oh, that's
revenue
what I
end.
was, so,
Right, this is what it costs us to get rid of it.
okay, all right.
If we would have sent it out, it's only 15 tons, if we would have just thrown that in the compactor and sent it out, it would only cost $1,500. So if you take the 5,375 minus the 1,500, we have a negative avoided cost or an overage of 3,875. We collected 3,020.
So it's almost a.
Right, it's almost a push.
Right.
And that's another shipment where we made 5 shipments out of electronics this year. Normally we make, out of 2017, normally we'd make 4. The cost for a shipment on that container is $1,075. So 4 times 1,075, we were over a little bit because instead of making the shipment out in December of 2016, we made one out in January. And then 4 more, and we had to make one out in December before the end of the year. So
What
we
do
went
you,
over.
what do you consider in the electronics? Televisions, obviously. but,
The old stereo component units,
Mhm.
anything with a screen, a TV, or a laptop computer, or a computer monitor, CPUs for computers, any hard basic, and we also put printers and microwaves.
Anything that has a cord on it too, right?
Not anything,
Not anything.
but pretty much. When you get down to below a 6-inch screen, they don't care, they can go in the compactor. But anything above that screen-wise, the mandatory that has to go in there.
Well, thank you for sharing your contribution.
Right.
Are you going to be at the public hearing
Yes, I'll be there.
next week?
Yep. Yep.
I think a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, I'm gonna publish this. I'll put a copy of this on the front door of our station. I'll, maybe put one out here.
You're gonna be
But-
online next year.
Pardon?
Put it on the website.
Yeah,
Right.
next
You'll be
year.
on the interweb.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any questions on this?
Thanks.
And,
Have a good evening.
I'll give you that one.
Oh, terrific, thank you.
Okay.
Good day tomorrow, Clay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, Karen, you'll have to help me on 4711, long-term bonds and notes. Why am I revisiting that?
We're revisiting that because we
Oh.
have to put the,
Because now it's a warrant article.
yeah, we have to put the ambulance, or take the ambulance off.
All right.
Ambulance investigators. So do you want to vote to revisit it?
Diane
Yes.
already took it off.
You already
It's
did.
just-
We already did, but do I have to?
Don't we have to vote on the?
Change, don't you have to?
On the
We do.
total.
You have to amend it.
Well, we voted on the warrant article
We
already.
didn't vote on the total on the line item of the budget.
We didn't. May I have a motion to
So
revisit
moved. 4721?
4711, long-term bonds and notes?
So moved.
Okay, and all in favor?
Yeah.
All right. So essentially, we're taking off,
We're changing that budget from,
From $82,843 to $153,711.
from 236,554 to 153,871.
Isn't that what I said?
No, you started with the 82,000.
Oh, sorry.
Could you,
That's okay.
could you read that number, to what you started from?
It started 236, 544,
236,
554.
554.
And now it's going to be 153, 711, correct?
That's why I should switch over to
Okay.
this new page.
We've already voted to do it the other way. Point of order, do I have to vote to take this off?
Seems to be you would change the
would.
amount.
Okay.
Mhm.
May I
So it
have
doesn't
a,
hurt. I make a motion.
make a motion, go for it.
That we
Bob.
vote to lower that budget to reflect the number, that line item, I should say, to reflect the number $153,711.
I'm gonna second it.
Good, good.
All in favor?
Aye.
7-0 on that. Okay, now we're doing the 4721 long-term interest on those notes.
Ditto.
Ditto. John, do you want to,
Sure, I'll make a motion to decrease that one.
Okay.
To 38,274.
wait, I have to have a motion to
Oh.
revisit. So you're making a motion
Yeah,
to
motion.
revisit?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
And
Now you can make your motion to,
To decrease the amount to 38,274.
okay, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay,
what was the original number?
the original number was,
$44,749.
24,749,
49.
thank you.
and now it's 38,274. All in favor?
But it's
7-0.
Going down already.
All right.
Plumbing.
Right?
Save money.
All right, I have just
Moving
a
from one
couple
bucket
of,
to
another.
Slide of the hand, exactly.
and we can say no to revisit. John, you were absent a couple of days, or one day, and late another day. Did you want to revisit any of those that we already voted on? Do you want to know which ones they are?
Sure.
Okay. 4140. You were absent on 1025, I think. So
Elections.
elections and registration. Let's see which other one. The ambulance contract, which is 4215. You already voted, we did vote again on the fire department, 4220.
Should have been 4240 also. Except that we revisited that just now. And then 4290. Which was emergency management.
Yes,
I think those were the only ones we did that meeting.
that John,
Yeah, I'm good on those.
pardon?
I'm good on those.
Okay, we'll just leave it the way they
Yeah,
are?
yeah.
Okay, you,
I
and
assume they
then
all passed.
the other one was, you were late last week, so we,
Passive aggressive thing going on.
no, I'm moving on.